company that is just about 4 years old, we have enabled almost 200,000 small local businesses to come online and get discovered. We attract, thank you. We attract to these 200,000 businesses over 7 million consumers every month. So as a startup and a small company, we are super focused about other small companies. We are almost fanatical as a company in our focus to get people, get businesses online across the country. And not just online in a meaningful manner. Online in a way where local consumers are consuming their online presence and actually doing commerce with them. That's what matters to a small business. Otherwise, they have no need to get online. So even with some progress that we've made, we question ourselves. We sit down in rooms and we say, do we really understand India? We have aspirations to get this whole country online. We have aspirations to go to the tier 3s, the tier 4s, the tier 5s. We want to do this. We want to get the 51 million small businesses in this country online. We've just got 200,000, so the aspiration is big. But we question ourselves, do we understand them? Do our Jubilee Hills urban view really understand the camel owner in Pushkar? Do we understand that there are people in this country who probably don't have access to the internet, never use smartphone, don't understand English, don't have a need to get online? And we want to keep asking these questions. So about a couple of years back, we sat down with the product team and we said, isko to samajhna hai, which means we need to understand this. So we said, okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we send a couple of our product people, just go out, let's go to Secunderabad plus, let's go to a town, let's go to a tier 2 city in India, tier 3 city in India. Let's just go spend a day, morning, evening, and understand, what are people doing? Do they really want to come online? Do they really are using their smartphone in an effective manner? So just like all of you in this room, the doers and the thinkers and the enablers, my team took my brief to heart. And instead of going just to Secunderabad plus, they went all over. They decided, hey, Jas is paying the money to travel free across the country, which is the truth. So Pratibha, who helped us in our first drive, said, Jas, we'll go from Amritsar to Kanyakumari. I said, do you really think we need to do that? And as we stood there and having this conversation, we realized, as we all know now, hey, India is not 26, 30 states. We are 30 different countries. Language changes every 50 kilometers. So what we're going to find out in Adilabad or Vizag or Vijayawada is not going to apply in Ludhiana or Pushkar or Coimbatore. We said, oh, this does require a drive across the country. So in May of last year, we drove. Some of those people are sitting in this room. We drove across Amritsar to Kanyakumari. We took a month, sat in a car, and we drove across that. Our first journey was rush. We were in a rush. How do you use the smartphone? Do you want to get online? Bhaiya, aapko internet aata hai? Is there a 2G here? Is there 3G here? We asked those basic questions. What does your family do? Are you on Facebook? Do you use Twitter? Everybody uses WhatsApp. We know this now, by the way. And then we realized there were some stories which are absolutely shocking. They were not even surprising. They were shocking. And then in December of last year, we did one more journey, which is the heart of India. And we called this journey the anti-survey. This time, we did not ask questions to India. We went to these little towns and villages, and we sat down and had meals with them and had discussions and observed what were they doing with their smartphone. How often was he really checking? There are places where people actually, before going home from work, go to a particular spot because 2G or 3G is available only at that little spot. You have to observe this. This cannot come out of conversations. You just have to do this. So what the two drives turned into essentially was something which we had not anticipated. We had not thought of that there would be a drive which, instead of giving us feedback, was going to change our vision of the company. It's going to change the way we think. It's going to absolutely change the importance that we have to give to India. And that's why we very lovingly call this Digital Desh. And we already call it Digital Desh. It is already digital, and that's one of the largest things I'm going to talk about today. This country is already digital, more than people in this room, and I'm going to talk to you about that. This, as you would imagine, is a picture of someone who's just got some fish. What you don't know is that this is coastal Karnataka. This is Karwar. This is where 2G, 3G signals are spotty. This is where fishermen are not educated. It's a family continuation. You know, the child learns to fish and then the next child, and then education is a low priority. What do these people do? This fishing community, and I'll talk to you about this one gentleman called Sattar, who's the head of the fisheries union. He's out on the water. He takes his boat. They catch fish. They catch some prawns, squid, various types of fish. They take pictures of it. They shove it into their WhatsApp. And as they reach the signal zone of their coast, these pictures are sent to all the restaurant owners, even households, to buy the catch. This is May of last year. A year and a half are almost going by. This is WhatsApp being so pervasive. This is technology being used not in the way you and I are going to think about it. This is not an urban problem, right? For all of us, internet is a necessity. Fair thing to say. For these people, it is survival. Fish gets bad very quickly. We all know that. It's survival. I'm going to tell you something even more shocking. Sattar tells us that sometimes in bad days, when they know the network is not going to work in Karwar, they take their catch and move towards Mumbai just so that they can catch the WhatsApp signal, the 2G signal. That's it, and it turns back into Karwar. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, here is what Sattar has to say, but more importantly, internet is the new fish. You want to go and catch that. You know, we are so ubiquitous in our access that we don't believe that. You know, it's become quite obligatory to have a 14-year-old everywhere. This is our 14-year-old Ted. Score 1-all. Ritik is 14 years of age. And he is a child whose father sells souvenirs in Orchha. Orchha is a medieval town in Madhya Pradesh. Nobody has heard about it, guaranteed. I had not. Ritik wants to help his father sell curios and souvenirs to tourists coming in from various parts of the country, and specifically from Spain. But his father and him, they cannot have a communication or articulate to their Spanish customers or tourists. So what did Ritik do at 14 years of age? Ritik used Google Translate to learn Spanish. And again, this is a classic example of someone in a remote village, in a remote town, who has adapted internet to his needs. He has used the smartphone, he has used that internet to a cause which is only dear to him at his age. He's in fact redefined education. This is the changing face of education. This guy is gonna probably learn more languages before he ever learns to do calculus. He may never do calculus and be more successful. And that's the importance of education. People like Kritik are going to consume the internet for their survival and for their benefit first. And that includes education. The word education has changed. It's no longer 10वीं, 12वीं, 12th, going to a college for a high degree. He's changed the whole world. And that's another opportunity for this Desh. That's another opportunity for India. Suddenly, no child left behind. Access to the internet is going to change the way people are going to get educated in this country. And you know what? They don't need us. They'll figure it out. They don't need us. We continue to move along. And before I do, sorry, Ritik back again. This is a funny one. This is Ritik's mother's election symbol. Of course, we're going to talk to the election commission and see if that can become a smartphone. But nonetheless, it works given its orcha. Moving to Pawan. Pawan, first in Hindi and then in English, tells us, मुझको तो इंटरनेट मालूम ही नहीं था, ये स्मार्टफोन क्या है, एक अंग्रेज आया, उसने मुझे फ़ोन दिलाया, उस पर व्हाट्सएप डाला, मुझको बताया, मेरा ट्रिप एडवाइज़र में प्रोफाइल डाला, आज मेरे पास 400 कैमल हैं. Which loosely translates to, you know, guys, I have arrived in life. But it also means that a guy like Pawan, whom a tourist helped him to buy him a smartphone, made him understand what WhatsApp is, made him understand what the value of TripAdvisor is, and he was, you know, a middleman to give camel safaris in Pushkar, and now he owns his own 400 camels. Now stay with Pawan for a second with me. You know, we did a rough calculation just before this talk on a piece of paper. And we said, chalo, let's see that if Pawan probably earns 15 lakh rupees a day, 15 lakh rupees a year per annum, based on what I'm saying, WhatsApp and, you know, all the foreign tourists finding him. He's, by the way, on Instagram as well, because people are searching on Instagram for camel safaris. He is on Instagram. You are not. Survival. Necessity nahi, survival. And Pawan, if we were to create 1 million Pawans, not too difficult, we have 1.2 billion Indians, 51 million smart businesses. 1 million Pawans started today changes our GDP by 1%. That's a lot of money, guys. And these Pawans are going to happen. You and I can only help them. They're going to do it themselves. And hopefully you'll help them and make some money yourself, because he certainly is. Moving right along, let's go talk about Jamna Lalji. Now, another one of my favorite people. Now, Jamna Lalji is a very, very celebrated terracotta artist. He's been flown by the government of India, I think, once to Paris and once to London. He sells his stuff again globally using all sorts of platforms. He's on Facebook. He's very proficient there. And here is what Jamna Lal told us. You know, he said, ये पहले 2G था, अब आप 3G ले आए हो, अब बोल रहे हैं रिलायंस वाले के 4G लेके आ रहे हैं, ये सीधा 100G क्यों नहीं लेके आते आप? Again, which loosely translated means, he's frustrated. He has no patience. He's basically saying, I want to use technology, I find benefit in it, I am doing a global business. You first gave me 2G, then you gave me 3G, which still doesn't work very well. Now you're telling me about this 4G coming. Why can't you just innovate for 100G and finish it off? And that's the power. That's really the power of these people, of these little stories. We've got hundreds of them, by the way, on our side. But this is what's going to make you think. This is going to make you think that India has reached a point where there is no patience. We want all our eggs and we want them now. We're not waiting for it anymore. So, a lot of people tell me, there was a KPMG report about hardly a week back, which finally said, 400 million Indians, 420 million Indians on the internet, which, by the way, just to put you guys in some perspective, we have more people on the internet in India than the entire population of the US. But Uber has more valuation than our startups. Think. So, with 420 million internet users in India and 220 million smartphones, just imagine the opportunity we are sitting in. The only issue is that we are still, the people who are innovating, the people in this room are still urban-oriented, right? We don't believe Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4 India is ready for technology. We do not invest in understanding. They are using global technology in the best way they can. I'm sure the WhatsApp guys, when they made WhatsApp, did not think e-commerce would be happening in Karwar because of them. Absolutely. But they're using it. That's the only thing which they're exposed to. They know it. The local mobile store is selling it to them. That's the only thing they know. And they're going to use it. And they're not waiting. They're absolutely not waiting. So it's incumbent on us in this room to go out and actually understand the digital Desh that we are in this country, to actually go out and help these Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4 Indians who are almost ready, not even ready, they've already gone ahead of us. They are using technology more than us, and they're using it in ways which we don't know, but we still can innovate for them. We can do so many things. Now, if all of you decide not to do what I'm asking you to do, no worries. You know why? India won't wait. Thank you so much.